Hey Sagittarius, I just pulled cards for you about what people are saying behind your back, and honestly what came through is something you probably need to hear. So let me just shuffle and see what the universe wants to show us about this gossip situation. The first card I pulled is Queen of Pentacles, and this is interesting because when people talk about you, they are actually talking about your success. Like they cannot stop discussing how well you are doing materially and financially. Someone out there is literally obsessing over how you manage to have it all together. The Queen of Pentacles represents abundance and practical wisdom, and that is exactly what they are gossiping about. They see you thriving, and they cannot wrap their heads around it. These people are probably sitting around wondering how you afford your lifestyle or questioning whether your success is real. What they do not understand is that you have worked incredibly hard to build what you have. The Queen of Pentacles does not stumble into wealth. She creates it through dedication and smart choices. So when they gossip about your financial situation or your material gains, what they are really expressing is their own insecurity about not having achieved the same level of stability. This card is showing me that the talk is rooted in envy more than anything else. They watch your Instagram stories, they see you living your life, and then they gather with their friends to dissect every purchase you make and every experience you share. But here is the beautiful part, Sagittarius. The Queen of Pentacles sits confidently on her throne regardless of what anyone says because she knows her worth is not determined by other people's opinions. That is the energy you need to embody right now. Let them talk about your success because every word they speak is just confirmation that you are doing something right. The second card is the Hangman, and wow, this shifts the narrative completely. What people are gossiping about is how you have changed. You went through some kind of transformation, or you made a decision that completely altered your perspective and people are confused by it. The Hangman represents that moment when you flip everything upside down and see life from a totally new angle. Maybe you left a job that everyone thought was perfect for you, or you ended a relationship that looked good on paper, or you just completely changed your priorities in a way that does not make sense to outsiders. And now people are talking because they do not understand your choices. They are sitting around trying to figure out why you would walk away from something that seemed secure, or why you would sacrifice certain comforts for something less tangible. What they fail to realize is that you have gained a wisdom they simply do not possess yet. The Hangman is not about suffering, it is about voluntary surrender and seeing truth from a different vantage point. You have let go of things that no longer serve your highest good, and that confuses people who are still clinging to outdated definitions of success and happiness. The gossip around this is probably laced with judgment and confusion. They might be saying things like they do not know what they are thinking, or they are making a huge mistake, or they have lost their way. But Sagittarius, you have not lost anything except dead weight. You have found clarity, and that clarity came through being willing to hang in that space of uncertainty and trust the process. People gossip about what they fear in themselves, and your willingness to suspend everything you knew and trust in divine timing absolutely terrifies those who need constant control and certainty. Let them whisper about your transformation because while they are talking, you are evolving. Now the third card is Eight of Wands, and this tells me the gossip is spreading fast. Like whatever people are saying about you is not staying in one circle. It is moving rapidly from person to person. The Eight of Wands represents swift communication and sudden movement of energy. Messages are flying, texts are being sent, group chats are buzzing with your name. This is not slow whispered gossip. This is full-speed information exchange about you. And what are they saying that is traveling so quickly? They are talking about something you are doing or something that is happening in your life that seems to be moving at lightning speed. Maybe you made a quick decision, maybe opportunities are coming to you rapidly, maybe your life seems to be accelerating in a way that looks almost supernatural to outside observers. The Eight of Wands energy is undeniable and unstoppable, and when other people see you in this flow state where things just keep clicking into place one after another, they cannot help but talk about it. There might be gossip about how lucky you are, or speculation about what you must have done to get so many good things happening at once. Some of it might even be conspiratorial, like they must know someone or they must be doing something shady because nobody gets that many opportunities that fast. But the truth that the Eight of Wands reveals is that you are simply in alignment. When you are aligned with your purpose and your authentic path, the universe does not make you wait. Things happen quickly because there is no resistance. So yes, People are gossiping, and yes, that gossip is spreading like wildfire, but ultimately what they are discussing is how you have managed to get into a flow state that they desperately want for themselves. The speed at which your life is moving forward is intimidating to people who are stuck in the slow lane. Let them talk about your momentum, because every word they speak just confirms that you are on the right track and moving fast. The fourth card is Four of Wands, and this is so telling because what people are gossiping about is your happiness and your celebrations. The Four of Wands is the card of joyful milestones, home, stability, and celebration. People are literally talking about how happy you seem or how you keep having things to celebrate. This might be about a relationship that looks picture perfect from the outside, or a home situation that seems incredibly stable, or just the general vibe of contentment that you are radiating. And here's what is wild about this, Sagittarius. People are actually gossiping about your happiness. Think about how strange that is. They cannot just let you enjoy your blessings, they have to pick it apart and question it and wonder if it is real. The gossip might sound like they seem to happy something must be wrong, or they are always celebrating everything, or I wonder how long that will last. There is this underlying assumption that your joy must be temporary or fake or undeserved. But the Four of Wands does not lie. This card represents earned happiness, the kind that comes after you have built something solid and real. Your stability is not an illusion, and your celebrations are not performative. You have worked to create a life that feels like home to you, and now you are enjoying the fruits of that labor. So when people gossip about your happiness, what they are really revealing is their own lack of joy. Happy people do not sit around questioning other people's happiness. Only those who feel unfulfilled spend time analyzing whether someone else's contentment is genuine. The Four of Wands is also about community and gathering, which means some of this gossip might be happening in social situations, at parties, at events where people gather. They see you thriving in social settings, they see you surrounded by love and support, and then they go off and whisper about whether you really have it as good as it seems. Let them gossip about your celebrations, Sagittarius, because while they are busy questioning your joy, you are living it. Fifth card is Three of Swords, and okay, this gets deep. Some of the gossip about you is related to heartbreak or pain that you went through. People are talking about something that hurt you, maybe a breakup or a betrayal or a loss that was visible to others. The Three of Swords represents piercing emotional pain, and what is interesting here is that people are still discussing this chapter of your life even though you have likely moved past it. They might be bringing up old wounds, rehashing drama that you have already healed from, or speculating about how you are really doing after that difficult experience. There is something almost ghoulish about this kind of gossip, where people claim to be concerned, but really they just want to keep the story alive. They might be saying things like, I do not think they are really over it, or I heard they are still hurt by what happened, or I wonder if they will ever trust again. What they do not see is that the Three of Swords also represents release and truth. Yes, the pain was real, but the pain also cut away illusions and cleared space for something more authentic. You are not the same person who experienced that heartbreak, and that is exactly what the gossipers fail to understand. They want to keep you frozen in that moment of pain because it makes them feel better about their own situations. If you are still suffering, then they do not have to face their own unhealed wounds. But Sagittarius, you have done the work. You have felt the feelings, processed the pain, and come out the other side with clarity and wisdom. So when people gossip about your heartbreak, they are gossiping about a version of you that no longer exists. They are telling old stories about someone you used to be. And honestly, that is more sad for them than it is for you, because while they are stuck in the past, you have already moved forward into your future. Let them discuss your old wounds because you are too busy healing and growing to care about their outdated narratives. The sixth card is Queen of Cups, and this adds such an interesting layer because people are gossiping about your emotional depth and your intuition. The Queen of Cups represents emotional intelligence, psychic sensitivity, and deep compassion. What people are saying about you is related to how you feel things deeply and how you seem to just know things without explanation. This might sound like compliments on the surface, but trust me, there is an edge to it. They might be saying things like they are so emotional, or they are too sensitive, or they claim to be intuitive but I do not know, or they always think they know what everyone is feeling. There is this subtle invalidation happening where your emotional gifts are being questioned or minimized. The Queen of Cups makes some people uncomfortable because she can see through surfaces into the truth beneath, and not everyone wants to be seen that clearly. So they gossip about your sensitivity as if it is a weakness when really it is your superpower. They talk about your intuition as if it is pretentious, when really it is just threatening to people who are used to hiding behind masks. What the gossipers do not understand is that the Queen of Cups is not bothered by surface-level chatter. She sits calmly in her throne of emotional mastery, knowing that her depth is not up for debate. Your ability to feel deeply and sense truth is a gift, Sagittarius, not a flaw. So when people gossip about how emotional you are or how you always seem to know what is really going on, what they are actually revealing is their own discomfort with authentic feeling and intuitive knowing. They have spent so much time numbing themselves and avoiding their inner world that your willingness to dive deep makes them nervous. Let them talk about your emotional intelligence, because while they are busy gossiping, you are connecting with people on levels they cannot even access. Your depth is not a problem, their shallowness is. Card number 7 is 6 of Wands, and oh, this is powerful. People are gossiping about your victories and your public success. The 6 of Wands is literally the card of triumph and recognition. You have won something or achieved something that is visible to everyone, and now they cannot stop talking about it. This is not quiet gossip. This is loud discussion about how you succeeded where others expected you to fail. Maybe you got a promotion. Maybe you won an award. Maybe you accomplished a goal that seemed impossible. Maybe you just overcame odds that were stacked against you, and now everyone can see it. The 6 of Wands represents that moment when you ride through the crowd holding your victory banner high and people have nitrogen monoxide choice but to acknowledge your achievement. So what are they gossiping about? They are picking apart your success, trying to find reasons why it is not that impressive or not that deserved. They might be saying things like they just got lucky, or it is not as big of a deal as they are making it, or I could have done that too if I had their advantages. This is classic tall poppy syndrome, where people cannot stand to see someone rise above the crowd, so they try to cut them down through gossip. But here's what the 6 of Wands wants you to know, Sagittarius. Your victory is real and it is earned, and no amount of gossip can take that away from you. You fought battles that no one else saw. You pushed through obstacles that would have stopped others, and now you are experiencing the public recognition that comes with that effort. The people gossiping are the same people who were not there during your struggles. They did not see the late nights, the sacrifices, the moments of doubt, the hard work that nobody witnessed. All they see is the triumph, and they want to diminish it because your success highlights their own inaction. Let them gossip about your victories, because every word they speak is just more proof that you have risen to a level they can only talk about from below. Keep that banner high, Sagittarius. You earned this moment. The 8th card is the Fool, and this is beautiful because it tells me people are gossiping about your courage to start fresh and take risks. The Fool represents new beginnings, leaps of faith, and the willingness to step into the unknown without a safety net. You have done something, or you are about to do something that requires massive trust, and people cannot stop discussing it. They are probably saying things like, I cannot believe they are doing this, or that is so risky, or they are going to regret this, or they have lost their mind. The gossiper on the Fool energy is always laced with fear, because most people are absolutely terrified of starting over or trying something new without guaranteed success. They need 5-year plans and backup plans and safety nets before they will even consider making a move. And here you are, Sagittarius, just jumping into something new with nothing but faith and excitement. That scares them so much that they have to talk about it. What they do not understand is that the Fool is not ignorant. The Fool is enlightened. The Fool knows that the only way to truly live is to embrace uncertainty and trust that the universe will catch you when you leap. The gossip might sound judgmental, but underneath it is pure envy. They wish they had the courage to bet on themselves the way you are betting on yourself. They wish they could silence the voice of fear and listen to the voice of possibility. But they cannot. So instead they gossip about your leap, hoping that their words will somehow prove they made the right choice by staying safe and small. Sagittarius, let them talk about your fresh starts and your wild risks, because while they are busy gossiping, you are living. You are collecting experiences and lessons and stories that they will never have access to because they were too afraid to begin. The Fool does not look back at the crowd of critics. The Fool keeps walking toward the edge of the cliff with a smile. That is your energy right now. Jump and let them gossip about your courage from the sidelines. The ninth card is the Star, and this is absolutely gorgeous. People are gossiping about your hope and your healing. The Star appears after the destruction of the tower and represents renewed faith, inspiration, and the light that shines after darkness. You have been through something difficult, and you have come out the other side with this glow about you, this sense of hope and possibility that is undeniable. And people are talking about it. They might be saying things like, "I do not know how they can be so optimistic after what they went through," or "They seem healed, but I bet they are just pretending," or "They are always talking about hope and manifestation." There is this skepticism in the gossip, like people cannot believe that you have genuinely found your way back to faith and inspiration after hardship. What the Star reveals is that your healing is real and your hope is authentic. You are not bypassing pain or faking positivity. You have done the deep work of healing, and now you are naturally radiating that healed energy out into the world. The Star is also about inspiration, which means your story, your journey, your transformation is actually inspiring others even if they will not admit it. So they gossip about your hope as a way to distance themselves from the uncomfortable feeling of being inspired by someone they might have underestimated. They expected you to stay broken and instead you bloomed. They expected you to give up and instead you found renewed purpose. Your Star energy is shining so brightly right now, Sagittarius, and that light makes people feel things they do not know how to process. Some feel inspired but are too proud to acknowledge it, so they gossip instead. Others feel convicted because your healing highlights their own refusal to do the work. Let them talk about your hope and your healing, because while they whisper in the dark, you are glowing. You are proof that no matter how dark things get, the Star always returns to light the way forward. The 10th and final card is King of Cups, and this brings everything full circle in the most profound way. The gossip about you ultimately centers on your emotional mastery and your ability to remain balanced and compassionate even when people are talking behind your back. The King of Cups represents mature emotional control, wisdom, and the ability to navigate choppy emotional waters without losing your center. What people are saying about you now is probably tinged with a bit of awe mixed with confusion, because you are not reacting the way they expected you to react to the gossip. You are not defensive. You are not angry. You are not trying to control the narrative. You are simply standing in your power with emotional maturity, and that is unsettling to people who wanted to get a rise out of you. The King of Cups does not engage with drama, not because he is cold but because he has transcended the need to prove anything to anyone. Your emotional sovereignty is so solid right now that the gossip just bounces off you like rain off a duck's back. And that calm response is generating even more gossip because people cannot figure out how you can be so unbothered. They might be saying things like, "They do not even care what people think," or "They act like they are above it all," or "I do not understand how they can be so calm." What they fail to see is that the King of Cups has done the inner work required to reach this level of emotional mastery. You have faced your shadows, processed your pain, and built a relationship with yourself that is so strong that external opinions simply do not shake you anymore. The gossip is just noise, and you have learned to filter out noise and focus on truth. This card is telling you that your emotional maturity is your greatest strength right now, and it is also what people find most intimidating about you. Let them gossip about how calm you are. Let them wonder how you can be so balanced. Let them question your emotional resilience. While they are busy talking, you are too busy being the embodiment of emotional wisdom to even notice. So Sagittarius, I use these 10 cards to map out the entire landscape of what people are gossiping about, and honestly it all comes down to this. They are talking because you are evolving in ways that make them uncomfortable. They are talking because your success, your transformation, your happiness, your healing, and your emotional mastery are all reflecting back to them what is possible, and they are not sure they have the courage to pursue those possibilities themselves. Let them gossip. Your job is not to control the narrative. Your job is to keep growing, keep shining, keep healing, and keep becoming the highest version of yourself. The gossip will fade, but your growth is permanent.